This season, Instacart has your back to school. As in, they've got your back to school lunch favorites, like snack packs and fresh fruit. And they've got your back to school supplies, like backpacks, binders, and pencils. And they've got your back when your kid casually tells you they have a huge school project due tomorrow. Let's face it, we were all that kid. So first call your parents to say I'm sorry, and then download the Instacart app to get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes all school year long. Get a $0 delivery fee for your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 per order. Additional terms apply.
All right. Let's do this thing. Exactly. And on that note, welcome back to Little Cuts, our weekly mini-sode where we dig into the things that we've been, I think, just watching recently. I'm Terry.
I'm Mary Beth. This week we're talking about Creepy Cute Androids, an Indian action movie, a XXX sequel, my new reality TV obsession, and cameras and James Franco. Derogatory.
Yeah.
Quickly, off the top, everyone listen to Joyride by Kesha, her new Nightmare Circus song. It's very good. We are having a weirdo pop girly summer, and I'm very excited. And Steve has a great time when I drive because all I do is play Chapel Roan, Brat, Sophie, Sabrina Carpenter, and now Kesha. So happy weirdo pop girl summer, everybody. It's great.
Love that. I just, since we're talking music, I just discovered this new artist. Well, new to me. I don't know if she's new. But her name is Toa Bird. And she has this
I've never heard.
This new album called American Hero. And it's giving me, like, it reminds me a little tinge of like 90s, and I'm loving it.
Oh.
It's like it's
Cool.
rocking. It's good. Yeah. Give me all the female singers.
Hell yeah. And you know what? I'm going to say this is related. So speaking of cool bad bitches, let's talk about creepy cute androids.
Yes. Yes, it is. It is actually related. Yes. So this is a new show that is premiering on Apple TV on Wednesday. So July 10th. So 2 days after this episode
Terry
comes
remains
out.
Apple TV's #1 fan.
I'm telling you, their genre stuff is really killing it. I'm just gonna be honest. So this one is called Sunny, and it stars Rashida Jones as Susie,
Okay.
a woman who is in Japan whose husband and son died, ? In a mysterious plane crash. And that's how the show opens. And it's darkly funny to the point where, like, she is making the most inappropriate comments while dealing with the fact that her husband has died. And so she's dealing with her husband is Japanese, so she's dealing with her mother-in-law. She's dealing with this world that she still does not quite fit into, but it's set kind of in the future a little bit. So they have these devices that she just pops in her ear, and it like will translate what everyone is saying. They have like weird, almost like Zune, like the old Zune Microsoft thing that's like a phone that does all their stuff for them.
Funny.
It turns out that her husband, who said that he worked in refrigerators, actually worked in a robotics lab. And Susie does not like robots because she says that a robot killed her mom. It was a self-driving car. But she's like distrustful of robots. One day after her husband disappears, Sunny shows up at her door, a domestic robot that is made by her husband's company and was made specifically for her by her husband, it turns out.
Stop.
And Sunny is creepy cute. She has those expressive faces like that you would see on some like kids toys now, where like it has like almost the anime eyes, and they're just full of, you know, joy or sadness. Okay. They're very expressive. And she's voiced by an actress named Joanna Sotomura. The repartee between the two of them is really funny as Sunny is sort of starting to like assert her dominance in this relationship friendship type thing. And the show starts with a robot killing someone. So there's a mystery about what is going on. What did her husband actually do? Because it turns out he's been kind of either lying or omitting things about like his job. And then there's also Yakuza shows up and they gets into like some dark territory involving robots with sexual things and fighting. Like it has like this dark center to this. Yeah. And it's I've only seen the first 4 episodes and the first 2 are premiering this week.
Okay.
But it's very funny. The humor in it like matches the kind of humor I like, where it's like a little acerbic, a little sarcastic, a little dark. And Rashida Jones does a really good job playing a woman who is mourning her husband and son, but doing so in a way that is not socially acceptable, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I haven't really heard anything about this.
I hadn't either. It like I have had screeners for a while, and I just like when I heard what it was about, I was like, oh, this sounds really kind of dour, and I don't know if I'm in the headspace for it. But this weekend I started watching it, and it's hilarious if you like dark comedy or kind of cringy things that kind of verge into like, ooh, this is uncomfortable. It's
Okay.
It follows that. The creator is Katie Robbins, and she worked on The Affair, which I'd seen the first season of. I hadn't seen the rest of them.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, she worked on that, but she is the showrunner for this, and I gotta say, it's great. And yes, Purpurina, for the quality that I keep reporting on Apple TV, they continue to be terrible about marketing. That is absolutely true. I don't understand why they don't market things better. I just don't. It's really good.
I need to check it out. I need to watch a lot of Apple TV stuff. I'm like very behind. My mom always recommends Apple TV stuff to me too. So they all sound good.
They're putting out really good stuff.
My brain. Yeah. I really want to watch For All Mankind. You got me wanting to watch that. I just still haven't pulled the trigger on it. Yeah.
I was so excited that got renewed for a 5th season and a spinoff. They're doing a spinoff show on it, and I'm very excited.
Oh, that is exciting.
The two ones I'm really looking forward to coming back is Severance, the 2nd season of Severance, and the 2nd season of Silo. I cannot wait for those two to come back.
I need to catch up with Severance / watch Severance.
Is good.
At all.
Also very darkly comedic.
Yes.
But yeah, that's Sunny. And I apologize if there's like a disconnect. I think my hotspot is not doing me the greatest right now, but
we're doing better than I thought, honestly. So
yeah, me too.
It's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
We're gonna keep on chugging along.
All right. All right. An Indian action movie. I'm excited to hear about this one.
Yes. Okay. So unfortunately, Purpurina, this is not Kill. But I finally watched Monkey Man because Monkey Man is now on Peacock, and I did not get to see it while it was in theater. Yeah. Peacock or Hulu? I believe it's Peacock. A friend came over and we got dinner and decided to watch Monkey Man because none of us had seen it. We had missed it in theaters, and boy oh boy is that movie a fuck ton of fun. And Dev Patel is a king forever. I love him. But this is unfamiliar. This is Dev Patel's feature film directorial debut. And he also wrote the film, and he worked on it with Jordan Peele. And this is essentially his version of a revenge tale set in India and set about a man who is seeking revenge on those who killed his mother. And it is basically Dev Patel making his version of a South Korean revenge movie, but in the slums of India and also in a really nice hotel in India. And he is basically old boying his way. It's not really the old boy plot, but he's old boying his way and like wrecking people's asses left and right. And I loved it. I definitely have some qualms with some of the story. I think he follows the South Korean tendency so heavily that like things don't make sense sometimes, and it could have been a much shorter movie. And I still really liked it. There's a sex worker character who doesn't really have much of a purpose and just feels like, we have a sex worker character. And it felt like he's trying to pull from like certain like recognizable threads, but also doesn't all pull it all together in like the most satisfying way narratively. But regardless, he is incredible. At least he worked with an incredible like cinematographer and fight choreographer to create some incredible fight sequences. Like we were like cheering when certain things were happening. It's such a kinetic, chaotic movie, and it's so well choreographed, so well shot. And despite my kind of like small qualms with the writing, it's so good. And I had such a good time watching it. And, so many people want to be like, oh, it's a Bollywood movie, but like, no, it's not. And also it's really much more of Dev Patel showing his love for like, especially South Korean revenge movies, but which I love. It's incredible to see how he kind of translates that. Also, he partners up with a group of trans women who kick major ass, and it's like I tweeted recently, Monkey Man said trans rights, and it's very good. Yeah.
I've heard that before. I need to see this movie. I cannot believe I haven't yet, but
you have to.
I know. I really wish I'd watched this weekend because goodness, in order to get two things to talk about today, I'm talking about one I didn't really care about because the movies that I watched this weekend, abysmal. So I really am kicking myself that I did not watch.
Yeah, highly recommend though. It's fun. It's so fun. And like, it's 2 hours and it moves quickly. Like, even though I do think some parts of it drag, it still moves very fast. I had my own like little picky things about it, but still Dev Patel can do it all, baby. It's fucking cool. Also, we were watching it. I was like, I love seeing a scrawny, strong man. Like, not like a totally ripped dude, but like a guy who's kind of skinny, but still pretty strong and is kicking ass, but isn't like totally scary monster ripped like a lot of action stars. I just like his body type is it's so cool to see like a more regular body type in an action movie kicking ass. You know what I mean? Instead of like the typical dudes who look very much like they don't eat and they are dehydrated. Yeah, exactly. So it's nice to see a badass action guy get his ass kicked a bunch, get muscular, but still be like kind of scrawny at the same time. And I love that. And I hope that trend continues because, yeah.
Me too.
I see Carter agrees with me.
Yes, Kate, I am glad. This is not a slam on Chris Evans. Chris Evans is my number one crush in my book. I love Chris Evans. I've loved Chris Evans since I saw him in Not Another Teen Movie. He can do no wrong in my book. I love him. But I just, like, I am...
Yeah. No, that is no shame to the Muscle Boys. Obviously, we have our place. It's just, it's nice to have, like we said, the best of both worlds.
Yes,
so.
Exactly.
Definitely hottie. Anyway.
He really is. I love him, too. Ugh, what a cutie.
I'm also just realizing that I have a giant stuffed hot dog just, like, right over my shoulder this whole time. So.
Amazing.
Whatever. Anyway, swinging from this movie I just talked about, my brain, Jesus Christ, Monkey Man, to a XXX sequel. Tell me all about it. Jesus Christ.
So, I mean, you got there with that segue. I'm really impressed with that segue. So I watched MaXXXine this weekend.
Tell me about it.
And I'm not sure how to feel about this movie. Because here's the thing, and I'm glad to hear you say that too, Carter, that me neither, because as a pastiche of that era, it's ticking the boxes in terms of the sort of low budget revenge-esque type of 80s horror movie that I'm drawing a blank, like, but it's reminding me of like the kind of, we're talking basket case levels of B-ness, and not like the big remakes that of that time or the slashers. We're talking like just sort of the grungy. The other one that comes to mind, I don't even remember this as 80s, but like Debs, like the Avenging Angel type cinema that was out in like the late 70s and early 80s. So we're talking about a very specific kind of movie. And I'm struggling with this one because as a mystery. So the whole thing is that, you know, MaXXXine, it's in the 80s, so we're a few years after what happened in X. She is a successful porn star in LA. She's trying to get into acting. She auditions for this role in this horror film directed by a woman director who made a very successful exploitation film, and now this is the sequel, and she's trying to cast for it. And so MaXXXine auditions for it. She gets the part, and she is doing that while at the same time there is the Night Stalker that is terrorizing LA, and people around her start to die, and it starts to have like similar MOs to the Night Slasher, but kind of a spoiler, but it's not the Night Slasher, because we know who it is. Because if you have watched the last movie and even the beginning of this movie, you probably have a very good idea of what's happening here. And the movie acts as if that's a big surprise.
That's so lame.
The movie acts like, I'm sorry for spoiling, but the movie acts like this is a big surprise, and the third act is bad. But like, as a pastiche of that time period, I can see...
Stop letting straight white men make movies. Please stop letting them make movies. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
But yeah, Carter, no surprises. I could watch Mia Goth do anything. Same here. She's really good in this. I don't know. Like, I really was... I was vibing with it until the last act, and I was like, okay, this has lost me. I just think there's so much going on here that it's not as cohesive of a movie as the previous two. And if you had actually told me that this was the one that he wrote in 2 weeks, Vice Pearl, I would have believed you in a heartbeat.
Fascinating.
But it's I don't know, it's I can understand, like, the going into its release, a lot of people were hyping it up, it seemed like, and then when people actually got to see it, it seemed like there was like the adverse aspect of it. And I can kind of see, I'm sort of in the middle. Like, I did not dislike it. I did not like the third act, and there's a lot of moving pieces that I feel kind of get left to the wayside. I mean, there's a subplot involving her gay friend that I'm pretty sure was cut, a lot of it, because there's some things in there that I'm like, this doesn't really go anywhere. There's cops that are interesting, but like they don't really do anything with the mystery part of it. So like, I don't know, there's a whole lot of pieces out here, a lot of really good ideas, and I don't think they were really connected as well as Pearl or X, to be honest. But Mia Goth is great. The cast is fantastic. It was fun, but I prefer Pearl and X, and I don't know if he should make another one.
No, and apparently they want to make like a prequel, and I'm like, why? This is so boring. Like, this is so boring.
I'm with you, Tony. I do actually prefer Pearl to X, but I don't think Pearl works unless you've seen X, if that makes sense. Like, the reasons why I like Pearl is because of X.
Boring.
Oh. I really enjoyed it. I rewatched it this weekend before MaXXXine, and I really dig it. I really do. But yeah. Anyway, that's MaXXXine. It's not the...
Yeah, have not seen it.
The conclusion that I wanted. But here we are.
That's what happens when you're given opportunities and then you're just like, what if I do the craziest thing? And you're like, no. You just kept going on the same path, huh, dude? Anyway.
Yeah. Changing topics, I'm guessing, wildly again. Let's talk about Your new reality TV obsession.
So, like, this is, like, not that new. I haven't really wanted to do anything but watch stupid reality TV while packing my apartment and just, like, getting ready to move. And it's also a heat wave.
Ugh,
and I don't really want to watch movies right now. It was 4th of July last week, so we watched Jaws and Independence Day. And other than that, I haven't been watching shit other than Real Housewives of New Jersey, finally. I have finally started watching Real Housewives of New Jersey from the very beginning. And boy, oh boy, let me tell you, this is a rough watch because it is too real, my friends. And I don't know if anyone else has watched Real Housewives of New Jersey. Terry, have you ever watched Real Housewives of New Jersey?
I have never seen a housewife.
Okay. So this one is like, it's one of the original ones. Not the original one, but like one of the first ones. And obviously follows women in New Jersey. But what's different about this one is that all of the women, or most like the women, are in two families. So it's not like every woman, all of them are like basically related. So instead of it just being like women arguing about stupid shit, it's like women fighting about actual family problems.
Oh.
And it gets like super intense because they're all arguing not just about like stupid gossip, but about like family feuds that have been going on for decades. So it's like very dramatic, and like the kids and the husbands are involved, and like the husbands tackle each other, and it's just very dramatic and also like it feels depressingly familiar to my own family.
Okay.
Because, sorry y'all, the Italians and the Irish are not that different. So this is all very Italian families in Jersey. They have a decent amount of money. They always joke about the mob, whatever. I do think Caroline Manzo is probably associated, but whatever. But like, there's a whole fight at a christening. That's like happened in my family. Like, that's happened. Not like an actual physical fist fight, but like the names that have been thrown at like holidays. Like, someone called my aunt like a bitch or a cunt at a Christmas one year. Like it just, watching the show, I'm like, it's just so familiar in so many horrible ways. But it's also incredible because they're all wearing like the most tacky clothes at the same time, and all of their houses look like a cheesecake factory. And it's an utter delight to have on as I try to struggle my way through packing and through getting through this month. So I have not been watching anything good other than just like Dev Patel murdering fools and women from New Jersey screaming at each other.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm glad we're in the same boat. I'm like not really wanting.
Yeah,
my brain is fucking fried, brother.
I've been playing a lot of games, and just because but one of them it hasn't been the best gaming experience either. So it's like I'm just like in a rut.
There's a bunch of stinkers.
Yeah, between movies, which I watched Space Cadet this weekend, or I watched half of it, and I ejected from that rocket.
Space Cadet?
It's the new movie that people are comparing to like Legally Blonde with Emma Roberts in it, where she gets to be an astronaut, I guess.
All right, what?
And I tried watching A Family Affair because I'm a Nicole Kidman gay, and that also wasn't great. So it's just I'm in a rut. I'm in a rut.
Well, let's wrap this sucker up talking about Cameras and James Franco with our 2 30 Rock episodes for this week.
Yes, so we watched episodes
7 and 9.
7 and 9. Deal Breakers Talk Show number 1, which is paying off all of the jokes from season 3, the end of season 3 up to now, where Liz Lemon is filming the very first episode of her new talk show and realizes that everything goes to shit when men get involved and critique women and drive them insane. Is basically like the overall plot. What did you think of this episode? This is one of my favorites. Like, literally one of my favorites.
Oh, really? Yeah, I really liked it very much. Once again, thinking I'm Liz Lemon, I swear to God, with like the inability to be natural on camera or be a competent person when it comes to like not being in creative control behind the scenes. So that's fun. Another fun thing to realize about myself. Yeah, this is the one where I had the worst second embarrassment I've ever had watching the show so far, which isn't a bad thing. It just is. In fact, I had the worst secondhand embarrassment watching this part. But this is also these two. I don't know if this is. Oh yeah, this is also the episode where I realized that I think Tracy is everything wrong with famous people, all put into one character.
Yep.
Yeah. So that this is the episode that like really kind of pushed it home for me that he is just every flaw a celebrity has put into one very funny character, but is also infuriating. Like, it's very funny because the more I watch the show, the more I like Jenna more and the less I like Tracy.
It's like, it does this throughout the series. It definitely is like I do think they sometimes lose the way with Tracy's character, and by season 6, we've gotten back into what I think makes him so lovable. Okay. But there are moments in this, like when at the very end, when he is singing the worst song possible for about his baby girl that he wants to have, and she's like, his wife is like, Tracy Jordan, you're an idiot. And he's like, I know. Thank God people laugh when I say stuff. Like, yeah,
that's exactly why. That's when I had the worst secondhand embarrassment, was him singing very sincerely to his wife about wanting to put a baby in her. And I said, I want to die watching this right now because of how sincerely Tracy Morgan is throwing his whole body into this song. It's just a testament to his ability as a comedian, but also made me want to fucking pull my skin off. So
that's fair.
Yeah. I do love the beginning where Jenna's screaming, my niece made me look fat, and like a tiny kid's drawing of Jenna, like a stick figure.
Yep.
So she's just an incredible nightmare. Liz Lemon's eyeballs are too pointy, by the way. And also, Dr. Spicheman tried to publish X-rated cartoons in the New England Journal of Medicine. So that's fun.
That's
and
par for the course with him.
I do think my favorite bit is when there's a high-def camera that they have for them to walk in front of. And, you know, Lemon walks in front of it and she looks kind of scary. And then as soon as other people start walking around in front of it, they completely change. So Pete is an old man. Kenneth is a fucking puppet.
Yep.
And Jack is just like an attractive young man. Very good. That was my favorite bit of the whole thing, especially when it was a Muppet. Just like very quickly. Like you could miss it if you weren't paying attention, but like such a good bit.
Yeah, I loved it. I love that moment. My favorite part is the ending where Jack has created writer Liz, normal Liz, and the performer Liz, and he's trying to get normal Liz to talk performer Liz off of. Oh
my God, yes.
And like it's basically like a Gollum moment where she is like talking like this when she is the performer Liz, and the other one is her normal voice. But like she starts crying and the tears are pouring out of her mouth, and he's like, what is wrong with you? And she's like, this is how I cry now because of the off-brand LASIK you had me do. And it's just that moment of her just bawling out of her mouth. LASIK. It's
so good. And also Frank is the boss and he becomes Liz Lemon, and he realizes how much it sucks to be in charge. And it was very funny because I've had conversations like that. People have been like, you're never allowed to leave again. And I was like, I feel Liz Lemon on such a deep and visceral level. Yeah.
My favorite, one of my most quoted lines is in this, though, because I used to say this at work all the time. I would just start singing, I'm a star, I'm on top, somebody bring me some ham.
Ham.
I love it. I love that. I love that moment. That's all I got.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, it's very good. And then we skipped over a and went to 9.
And 8 introduces Julianne Moore as Jack's former crush from school, who he's now in love with, and she's married, but she might be going through a divorce, and he is madly in love with her.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was like, what is going on?
I thought she was introduced in this episode, but it's actually the one before it, so I apologize for that. But so this episode is like right after when they've come back from their Christmas break, and we get this really funny opening where everyone's basically catching up over the break, and we get Tracy trying to tell people that, you know, he had sex with his wife and had a kid, and they're like, no, don't show us. He's like, I was going to explain it really good. Jenna is wanting to be in a fake relationship with James Franco to dispel unsavory rumors about him. And we have Liz. Yeah, a little too real. This was pre a lot of that stuff, but like a little too real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aged poorly though.
Yeah. And Liz outed her nephew, her cousin. What did you think of this?
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot going on in this. I didn't write a lot of notes because I didn't catch so many one-liners, but I also felt like it had more of a just ridiculous through lines more than anything in this one for me, because we have the weird James Franco of it all, and then also Tracy Jordan, and then all the stuff you described. But it's just very weird watching this after all the James Franco stuff and him being like, I'm in love with an anime body pillow, and Kimiko is the only one that matters. And it's like, haha, it's so funny. He's a rapist. So obviously it's just very weird to watch it now, and it's hard to laugh at it when it's like, ugh. And he's just so gross to me. But I did absolutely love Tracy yelling, I yelled Susan B. Anthony at the moment of conception, so there's no way it's not a girl. And
Liz going, yep, that'll do it.
Yeah. And the absolute hilarity of Kenneth continuing to take pictures of himself and do things on her computer and set himself as the background and unhinging his pelvis at one point to get through the doggy door. A lot. The body pillow they used didn't even look that good. Come on, get a better body pillow.
I know, right?
Have an anime body pillow. Come on.
I love
that's some
yes.
fucking work, some MS Paint shit.
And it is painful to watch this post what we know about James Franco. But I will say that I still laugh at the end when Liz ends up in bed with him and Kimiko-tan.
Yep, and that's the only thing that convinces her nephew, her cousin, to leave, is because he keeps partying and doing crazy stuff, and she's like, you can't live here and do all this. And the thing that gets him to move out is when she wakes up the next morning with James Franco and Kimiko, and he goes I'm leaving right now, and she goes, yeah, I think you should.
I also really love the fact that we have the Today Show making fun of themselves, where the writers talk about doing a drinking game with the Today Show where you do a shot every time they give a dumb travel tip. And then we have Matt Lauer talking about, I like to take the shampoo and put it in little travel size bottles. Then I take the original bottle and put it back in the shower for later. It just, it's so dumb, and yet it just makes me laugh.
It's so dumb, but it's so good. Yeah, these were good episodes. They made me giggle.
Or when Jenna is so in love with the idea of being with a famous celebrity. And this line, so the fact that we have her talking about having ice cold diarrhea from drinking too much Jamba Juice, hilarious. But then also this joke is one that I appreciate so much because it tells it like a great joke tells so much about the character of Jenna, where she talks about how the media has already come up with a name for the two of them. They call us James. And she's like,
James.
It's Jenna and James, and so it's James. But no, honey, they don't care about you. They care about the celebrity. And so it's like the fact that she thinks that they're saying James and it's including her, just it's so funny, but it also says so much about her character. And that is moments like that I love so much about the show, is when they can do that.
Yeah. I agree.
Also, Kenneth, your haircut is disrespectful to lesbians.
All right, well, where are we going next on our 30 Rock journey?
All right, so we are going to episode 10, Black Light Attack, which is really funny. And then episode 13, one of the Valentine Day episodes of 30 Rock, which are always really good.
Okay.
And this is Anna Howard Shaw Day, which introduces a complication for Jack's love interest in the newly introduced Julianne Moore's character. So that's where we're going next.
Ooh. Okay.
But Mary Beth, who are we chatting with on Monday? This conversation is so good.
So on Monday, we're chatting with Alejandro Brugues, the director of The Inheritance, which is out today on VOD as of the release of this podcast episode. And he brought with him The Evil Dead, the original, and an absolutely crazy story involving his uncle. It is so much fun. He's so funny, and it's just a really great conversation. Yeah.
He's so funny. What a delightful human.
Yes, absolutely. He also directed a segment in Satanic Hispanics, which was just nominated for a Chainsaw Award, Fangoria Chainsaw Award. So
he sure did.
Yay! So yeah, tune in on Monday for that. It's a really fun conversation. And he has a really cool perspective on horror after growing up in Cuba. It's really cool. We haven't really talked to a lot of people who grew up like in different countries, especially like Cuba, and his perspective on movies is just real cool. So
yeah, I agree. So fun.
So listeners, you've heard from us. We want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. Did you watch something that we talked? Did you watch something that we talked about and have thoughts? Do you have suggestions for things for us to cover? You can let us know by sending an email to scarredforlifepodcast@gmail.com, or you can record Jesus, or you can reach out to us directly on social media. I am at MB McAndrews on Twitter and at mb.mcandrews on Instagram.
And I'm at Gaily Dreadful everywhere. And yes, Tony and Kate, not Terry, and Terry doesn't give a shit. Damn right.
Nope. Don't forget to follow the podcast on social media if you don't. At Scarred Podcast on Twitter, at Scarred for Life Podcast on Instagram.
And please don't forget to review, rate, and subscribe. And if you want to help support us, we do have a Patreon, and we'll be releasing both Fresh Wounds and the seltzer very soon. Our Fresh Wounds episode this month is on Alleluia.
Alleluia. Yes. Thank you to Eric Power for our artwork. Thank you to Sean Keller for our music. Thank you everyone for listening. Please stay safe out there, but most importantly, stay creepy.
And until next time.